Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Mara and my fellow classmates. Today, our group that consists of me, Muhammad Firdaus Hakim bin Ruzwira, and my other group mate, which is Muhammad Akmal Haris bin Shafrat. Today, we're going to present about the Toshiba accounting scandal. So, this is the table of contents for our presentation. First of all, we have the company background. And then we're going to see what are the case summary and factors that contribute to the accounting scandal made by the Toshiba. And the third one is the investigative findings. And fourth one, we're going to see what is the legal action taken towards Toshiba Corporation. And the final content is the post-case recommendation. So we're going to take a look at the first content, which is the company background. So as for the company background, Toshiba Corporation is a Japanese multinational conglomerate headquartered in Minato, Tokyo. Its diversified products and services include power, industrial, and social infrastructure systems, elevators and escalators, electronic components, semiconductors, hard disk drives, printers, batteries, lighting, as well as IT solutions such as quantum cryptography, which has been in the development at Cambridge Research Laboratory, Toshiba Europe, which is located in the United Kingdom, and now this being commercialized. So moving on to the second content, which is the case summary. So on the 21st July 2015, the CEO of Toshiba Corporation, which is Hisao Tanaka, announced his resignation in the face of an accounting scandal tied to $1.2 billion in overstated operating profits. The details of the scandal emerged the day before when an independent investigative panel released a report describing the accounting improprieties in detail. Proper accounting was found to have taken place over 7 years ago, embroiling two former CEOs in the scandal alongside Tanaka. And the investigative report revealed that the CEOs did not directly instruct anyone to cook the books, but rather placed an immense pressure on their subordinates and waited for the corporate culture to turn out the results they wanted. And the manipulation of profits and other balance sheet figures were sniffed out by Toshiba's internal audit department in April 2015. And as a result, the CEO and their vice chairman, along with 7 directors, resigned. Moving on to the September 2015, the new CEO of Toshiba, that is Masashi Muromachi, issued a public notice and apologized to its stakeholders for breaking their trust. He acknowledged that Toshiba has to work hard and will take years before it earns back their investors' trust. He also apologized for the losses and promised that Toshiba will devote itself to the vow by returning to its status in the near future. The next up is the factors that contribute to Toshiba accounting scandal. So based on our finding, we classified that there are three factors that contribute to Toshiba accounting scandal. And the first one is the financial pressure. So uh, as happened back in the 2008, Toshiba Corporation had been struggling to meet their financial targets. This is because of the global financial crisis that cut deeply into Toshiba's profitability. Second factor is the opportunity. As the global crisis provided the perfect platform to add to the accounting scandal, it was a step easier for them to enforce harsh policies that demanded profits no matter what. And the second factor is the rationalization, whereby the CEO believes that it was in the company's best interest to eventually recover the market share from the crisis, irrespective to the damage it may possess on its accounting policies, procedures, as well as practices. So next up is the investigative report findings. So in these investigative report findings, investigators found direct evidence of inappropriate accounting practices and overstated profits in multiple Toshiba business units. That includes the visual products unit, the PC unit, as well as the semiconductor unit. The accounting misconduct began under CEO Atsutoshi Nishida in 2008 amid a global financial crisis that cut deeply into Toshiba's profitability. It, is, it continued unabated under the next CEO, which is Norio Sasaki, and eventually ended in scandal under Tanaka. So the inappropriate accounting techniques that employed at Toshiba varied somewhat between the different business units, and investigators found evidence of booking future profits early, pushing back losses, pushing back charges, and other similar techniques that resulted in their overstated profits. Although the techniques varied, the investigative panel identified a single set of direct and indirect causes to explain how the inappropriate practices took hold across the conglomerate. Next presentation, I'm going to pass to Akmal Haris.
Okay, as for the next findings, investigators describe how Toshiba's corporate leadership handed down strict profit targets, known as challenges, to business unit presidents, often with the implication that failure will not be accepted. In some cases, quarterly challenges were handed down near the end of the quarter when there was no time left to materially affect unit performance. It soon became clear within individual business units that the only way to achieve these challenges was to do so through the use of irregular accounting techniques. The investigative panel concluded that Toshiba's corporate culture, which demanded obedience to superiors, was an important factor enabling the emergence of fraudulent accounting practices. The culture operated at the level of business unit presidents and every level of authority down the chain to the accountants who ultimately employed the accounting techniques. And the last findings would be the investigative panel also pointed to weak corporate governance and a poorly functioning system of internal controls at every level of the Toshiba conglomerate. Internal controls in the finance division, the corporate auditing division, the risk management division, and the securities disclosure committee did not function properly to identify and stop the inappropriate behaviors. So next would be the legal action towards Toshiba. All right, so Toshiba had been sued for a total of $162.3 million for damages. This consists of two different suits, which is two different lawsuits, which is individuals and group of stakeholders, and also the shareholders of the company. So as for the individuals and group of stakeholders, they claim that their decision in history between 2008 and 2015 were based on Toshiba's financials, therefore require a remedy for the related losses. And next, as for the shareholders, in 2016, Toshiba commented that they were demanding for compensation. So Toshiba's chief executive officer, CEO, has agreed to the fact that Toshiba's financials were inflated during a period of 7 years caused by improper accounting practice. So the next slide will be the post-case recommendation. There are four post-case recommendations that will be discussed. The first one is the recommendations aim to prevent the recurrence of unacceptable business practices across Toshiba's business units. These recommendations include reformation of the corporate culture, elimination of the challenge system of profit targeting, and re-establishment of internal controls and strong corporate governance. The company also should consider the creation and promotion of a robust whistleblower system that employees can use without fear of retribution. And lastly, in response to the investigation, Toshiba released a statement outlining the initial actions it would take in response to the report. So the company the company promised to examine the results of the investigation thoroughly and to reflect the recommendations in its business practices going forward. So that is all from us. Thank you for your attention.